Hey everybody, it's June 8th, 2026, and it's the favorite time of our week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi everybody, my name's Paul.
Hello, this is Bev.
Hi Bev.
Good morning, Paul.
And hi all of you out there in listening, video, whatever land you live in. More and more people are watching our show. They're like, "Oh, are you the folks on that podcast?" And so, it's like,
We
yes,
could be.
that's us. That's us. That's who we
Uh-huh,
are. So,
uh-huh.
all right, we're going to talk today. We're going to try and talk today about finding peace in a world at war. It should be at war, not of war. Of course, it is a world of war because
Yeah, it's
we
both.
are. It's both at and of. So let's talk a little about that. How the body responds when we're constantly exposed to images of conflict and suffering and an uncertainty. And yeah, okay. So I'm going to talk. I found this little quote in Psychology Today. We'll start with that. Research shows that repeated exposure to war news, violence, and crisis reporting can increase stress, anxiety, sleep disruption, and persistent sense of threat, even for people who are thousands of miles away from the conflict. The nervous system often reacts to repeated exposure as if danger is much closer than it actually is. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That is interesting, but maybe not so surprising.
No. So that we're always, so we're being bombarded now. I mean, you can't really, you might think you can get away with it, but you can't. Because why?
If you're on this planet, you're connected to a planetary life.
Right.
We talk about this all the time in terms of biotouch, don't we?
Yeah.
How incredibly connected we all are. Yeah, we think that somebody 10,000 miles away is going through something that has nothing to do with us. Wrong. If you belong to the uh, kingdom of humanity, we are so deeply connected in our cellular makeup, whether we think so or not. We are being affected by what's happening to our brothers and sisters on the other side of the planet. This is not a new thought, okay? But I think it's coming back up. I mean, the masters for eons of time have been talking about one life,
Right.
okay, one life, what that means.
Yeah.
But now in these times, it's resurging. People are beginning to, at least, if not really understand it, think and talk about it. The language is, we're one, we're here to help each other, we're connected. We're hearing this all the time now. So it's starting to, and what can BioTouch do with that? Yeah.
Right. Well, it's interesting when I went to Egypt to share BioTouch and I got on an Al Jazeera TV station and people were calling in and I recognized what I'd always believed, which was everybody was living in fear. And when you look at humanity as a whole, I mean, we've always heard you either live in fear or you live in love.
Right.
And humanity as a species, as sentient beings, there's a lot of fear in it. I mean, we get up in the morning, we're constantly at war with ourselves, we're always judging ourselves. You were even talking about, oh, I've talked about doing all these things for myself, I'm finally going to do it. That's a conflict, right? I mean, the conflict of what I should be doing and what I'm not doing, right? Oh, I
But I'm
didn't.
listening to myself, the awareness. I said that to you too. And why? Because I get BioTouch.
Right, right.
Let's be
Exactly.
clear here.
Well, and so that's a key here. How do we wake up to these tensions that our body holds? The tight shoulders of the jaw. The breathing. How's our breathing? How's our sleep patterns happening without having to have a Fitbit, right? It's telling you, oh, you woke up 3 times and can we be aware of our sleep patterns? Can we, the increased worry that we have, whether it's family things, financial things, whether we turn on and worry about who's going to come snatch us off the streets or snatch a friend of ours off the streets, feeling helpless. I mean, that's a big one we hear all the time. Well, what can I do about it? I mean, we
Right.
see all this stuff. What can I do about it? I think that would be a key thing. What can I do about it?
It's interesting. That brings up an interesting thought that, I've said many times the group soul called humanity are made up of individual sparks of that. It begins with each one of us getting our own selves together, and then so we can contribute to the group. That's how it has to work. So it begins with each of us. That's how it does. We're not going to, wake up on a Tuesday and go, I am fixing this today. That's not going to happen. That's not even realistic. But what we can begin to do is to become aware of ourselves as a divine spark, as a divine individual. That's where it has to happen. And I'm going to say it again. This is where BioTouch can really open the door for that to begin.
Right.
Because you have to become aware of yourself as that before you can really embrace the work.
So that's a real simple thing we can all do. Just start with somebody in your own family. It wakes us up to our own awareness, and as we wake up to our own awareness, we help everyone wake up to their awareness. And something, then you're going to meet someone who's going to need your help. Guaranteed, you're going to meet someone. I remember when the Russia just dropped out of my brain.
Brain?
Ukraine. When
Okay.
that war came, and I felt like, oh my God, what can I do? How do I help? And a week later, these two women come in from Russia and Ukraine.
Yes, I
You know,
remember.
and it's like, oh my God, I just wanted to help in any way I could. And here were these people who had generational trauma from these countries,
Yeah,
and I was able to just do BioTouch with them. And I don't know what would happen. I don't know what happens on that whole
right.
level of energy that goes on and on and on and on. But I was able to help, and I
Yeah,
just opened myself up to say, well, I got BioTouch. God, I can't get on an airplane and go over
start
there.
with that.
And bingo, it was brought
Yeah,
to me of what to
yeah.
do. And I think that happens all the time for us.
It happens all the time, and a very important part of that, which we have talked about before, is those two people coming into that center. There was something for you as well.
Right.
That's part of that connectedness that we talk about. It opens all of us up. I think the important thing, if we have to start with ourselves, then what this is maybe a moot point because we discuss this all the time. Where is all of that conflict, all of that separateness, all of that fear being held? In the body. This is bears repeating every time we get on this show. Everything is held in this body. It is the vehicle, the vessel for all of that containment. The only way that we can begin to unravel and bring peace into that is to bring more love, less fear into our experience. BioTouch is here to do that.
With just simple, just the
That.
greeting, just those
It's
two
just that.
fingers. I
Yeah.
was just watching some seminar of this guy who had thousands of people there, and they were playing them, having everybody, and he was talking about how all these stressors in our life are held in the cellular level, right? And so he's trying to get people to, all close their eyes. And there was one thing I noticed about that. Here were thousands of people in a room, everybody listening to his voice, which was very hypnotic, with the harp playing, okay, the good frequency and stuff. But the one thing I did notice was everybody was individual. Here they are, sentient beings, thousands of people sitting next to each other. And I just thought, what if they just reached over and touched one another?
Right
Just
now.
touch. Just touch. To know there is somebody else here and they do love me And I love them, and we are love, and we are this the meditation of just doing the greeting,
Right.
which communicates with another human being, and that goes on, that the chain which shall go on indefinitely is
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
vision statement.
What better way to connect to somebody than that light, loving touch that says, "Oh, in this moment, I'm here.
Yeah,
I see you.
you know,
I feel you, and right now I'm going to touch." Yeah.
I just taught another class at this adult school thing.
They keep
And,
having you back, do they?
well, and I get pretty good pretty good
That's
comments about
awesome.
it. Yeah, and the thing is, they're all sitting there, and each one's separate. You can see them; they have this little box around them,
Oh
this little
yeah, the
aura,
barrier.
of like nobody and few people talking to each other. But boy, the minute you have them do the greeting, the minute you have them, not even the greeting, just reach over and touch somebody on the skin, so they get a sense of it. Man, the whole place changes.
Changes. It changes.
And everybody's communicating, and so then I'm up there just having a good time, and all the questions that are trying to put BioTouch into a box where I'm
Right.
just like, it doesn't matter. No, that doesn't matter. No, just touch. You don't have to think about it. Oh no, you don't have to believe in it. And
No,
people,
they've been programmed well.
yeah, and it's refreshing to people.
Yes.
So we're going to take a moment here. We're going to teach you the greeting again. We have this little ditty. I'm going to keep my voice on for those who can't see what we're doing. This is our little 21-day challenge. If you just did the greeting for 21 days, and here is the greeting. We're going to show it to you. Eileen made this little great little thing here. The greeting. Wash your hands. Use the first two fingers of your dominant hand, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. That's the index and middle finger. You're going to use a butterfly light touch. You're going to hold the points for 6 to 8 seconds. You're going to touch the fleshy area just below the bottom of the breastbone, again for 6 to 8 seconds, lightly like a butterfly. Take the same dominant hand, go 1 to 1.5 inches to the left of the big bone at the base of the neck, and again, hold there lightly for 6 to 8 seconds. Repeat this once a day for 21 days. Notice the changes. That's it. Notice the changes.
We're going to challenge you to do this.
The 21-day challenge, you can get online. We can send you little reminders all the time. But just the greeting, just trying to bring a little bit of peace, a little bit of hope to a world in conflict.
Yeah.
And we are the world. So,
We are.
Yeah, you might not be turning on the TV set or looking at your feeds, but look at your family, look at yourself, see where you're holding the tension, and let's wake up and try to help one another here.
That's a great awareness. Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is
BioTouch.
what BioTouch can do.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it can. And we found that just with that little research that Kenna did. I mean, that was the most amazing thing, which is funny because in this little program that I saw, they talked about coherence. So that word's coming up a lot, right?
I know.
And what did we find with just a simple greeting in the headset with the research that documented with this little machine in the front of the orbital frontal cortex?
MRI. Yep.
And it showed that those 48 or 36 little nodules measuring brainwave patterns showed a coherence in that orbital frontal cortex. And that meant that those 36 wave patterns were all going at the same ups and same direction compared to pre and post session where they were scattered, where our world of conflict, our world of even trying to decide things. I also heard this thing, it was on NPR, it was talking about the brain and the unconscious and the conscious, and how the conscious mind is all those things you try to figure out, but the unconscious mind, and I was thinking BioTouch probably just works on that. You don't try to figure it out. It's like if you're going to try to decide to where to go on a vacation, and you're figuring it out with somebody else, just say to each other, yeah, we want to go on a vacation and we're going to revisit it in 3 days.
Yeah.
And the unconscious mind takes all the data. It's sort of like the AI arm, right?
Yeah,
and I
right.
think BioTouch works at that level. If you just get the technique, you don't have to worry about what it's doing, or it's figuring out what needs to work and
Right.
what needs
Yeah.
to get better first,
Yeah.
or that you need to go see a doctor, or you need to take a supplement, or you need to, whatever it is. And or
Whatever.
you meet somebody, oh, I met a naturopath. I was just thinking of that, or I met those women from Ukraine and Russia. So, maybe all that is the beauty that BioTouch is running my life now on an unconscious level.
Uh, well, yes, but I think if it's working on those levels, the the decisions, the changes that happen are from a much higher state of experience. That's the beauty of it, because we're not in the way. That what is called that little monkey mind.
Right. Where we
It's
get
not
out of the way.
chitta all the time. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it allows us, BioTouch brings us into a point of peace. What is peace of mind? That's what we're all here to attain. That's what we really want, isn't it? The majority of humanity is tired, is suffering, is so exhausted from being bombarded. And like you say, much of it is really, they don't think it is, but it is. What most of humanity really desires, really wants, is to live in peace
Right.
in their own lives and as a group. That's we're sentient beings.
So,
Love is our nature. All that other stuff, conflict and a world at war, is not what we came back here to do. But you know what? It's working out like that. It has to work out so that we can really understand what we're here to do. And BioTouch going forward is part of that journey.
yeah. So just do the greeting, finding peace in a world at war. That monkey mind that you talked about is everywhere. Let's be aware of it. Let's be aware how our body's holding it. And let's be aware of how BioTouch gives us a little bit of hope that,
Yeah.
it can get better. I can have peace.
Yes,
I have a right to that.
I know.
All right. And I have a right to turn left. So we'll see you all next week. Thanks, Bev.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Paul.
Days in and days out, space and time is all about feeling pressure with the pain, in sunshine or in the rain. Living is a place in mind, giving is being kind, and the pain is too much. What we need is BioTouch. When I'm touching you, you are touching me. It's a simple thing to do and a natural way to be.